This is Thogden Reacts. Spurs will win the Champions League with Nagelsmann.
Today, Thogden is in Spain, so THOGDAD reacts, and we've got to talk about Antonio Conte because he has left Tottenham Hotspur Football Club
he's gone,
by
guys.
mutual agreement. Now, the chairman,
He's fully
Daniel
gone.
Levy, put out a very brief statement on Sunday night. He didn't mention Antonio Conte by name. He didn't thank Conte for his service at the club. He didn't look at what Conte's done right. He simply said that players and staff have to pull together over the last 10 games of...
We have 10 Premier League games remaining. We have a fight in our hands for Champions League place. We all need to pull together. Everyone has to step up to ensure the highest possible finish for our club. And amazing, loyal supporters, guys. If any Tottenham fans are watching right now and you buy into this BS, yeah.
The season. Now, Antonio Conte, last weekend, Spurs drew 3-3 with Southampton. And after that, Conte went into the press room and had a massive rant. He called the players selfish. He didn't apologise for that draw, which shouldn't have happened. He blamed the players. He got on a plane to Italy. And
He did kind of call out his own coaching staff. He said, it's not just me who needs to take the blame. It's the players need to take responsibility, the coaching staff, the owner. With all of the managers there's been no trophies under Daniel Levy. What's the common denominator?
Knew it was over at that stage. So we're going to look at what did Conte do right, what did Conte do wrong, and what comes next for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Now, Antonio Conte came to White Hart Lane in November 2021, and there were a couple of fundamental mistakes made from day one. The first of which was Conte got a short-term contract. Now, he was going to be in place for last season from November and all of this season. Now, you look at other clubs, Man City with Pep Guardiola, Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp. Those are long-term projects. Those are managers who are going to stick around for 5 to 10 years and build something. What could Antonio Conte really do in 2 years? And what is the reaction of the staff and the players to Conte?
For a team like Tottenham Hotspur, how do you expect him, when the bar is so low, to get it up to competing with Man City, Man United, well, not really Man United, with Man City, Liverpool for the Premier League title? Obviously not Liverpool now, but back when he was hired, it's going to take more than 2 years to get up there. And we all know Conte's not really a cup manager. He's a league guy. Like, he can win you Premier Leagues. You need to back him. Like, he can't do it in 2 years with that Tottenham team.
If they don't like him, they can stick around because somebody else is going to come in 2 years' time. And secondly, is Antonio Conte and Daniel Levy a marriage made in heaven? Now, these are two guys with different views on football and different personalities. Daniel Levy is a superb businessman. He's a very private man. He likes to do things behind the scenes. If there's going to be an argument, it has to be behind closed doors. Antonio Conte, emotional, passionate,
he's the opposite
Italian.
of that, isn't he?
If he's got a problem, he's going to speak to the...
I love when he's just listed his characteristics.
Emotional,
passionate,
Italian. If he's got a problem, he's going to speak to the press, to the players, to the fans. He's going to say what he thinks right there.
It's true,
right now. Why did Daniel Levy hire that man? And also, this is no disrespect to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, but Antonio Conte is a serial winner. As a player, he was an absolute legend at Juve. He won 5 Serie A titles. He won the Champions League. He won the UEFA Cup. As a manager, he continued in that vein at Juventus. 3 more Serie A titles. Went to Chelsea, won the Premier League. Went back to Inter Milan and won another title. Now, Tottenham Hotspur, before Conte arrived, they finished 6th. They finished 7th. And it's fair to say that they weren't really expected to win the Premier League in the next couple of years. So why did Daniel Levy choose this man in the first place?
Because he's full of
Now, Conte's first partial season at Spurs was a partial success. Finished 4th in the league and got into the Champions League. And from day one, Conte saw things that were wrong and he put them right. For example, diet. Now, in football, it's the little things that make all the difference. Conte went in there and he saw the players.
It's called fine margins. At the elite level, fine margins count massively. And this is just general professionalism as well. which obviously is lacking at Spurs and is still lacking because Conte is not happy with his players.
Eating the wrong foods, eating things like nachos. And he said there's going to be no nachos, there's going to be no ketchup, there's going to be less salt and
No
less
ketchup.
fats. And this might sound like a small thing, but he made immediate changes there to diet. He looked at the players and he saw that a lot of them were overweight. And so he intensified training. And he said it's unacceptable that a single player will be overweight, will be out of shape.
Yeah,
He also looked at the
same
shape
with
of
us.
the team. And Conte is all about the 3-4-3 formation. He likes 3 centre-backs. He likes a left wing-back and a right wing-back. And a lot of the early training
He did
was
at Chelsea.
about shape. It was about...
I feel like Conte, though, like his go-to with Italy anyway was the 4-2-4. Obviously, it's hard to pull that off in the Premier League. But what he did at Inter Milan, which worked really well, was the 3-5-2. I wonder if he would have tried that at Spurs.
telling the whole team
It's fully backed.
what they do in a game
fully
situation.
backed.
And initially, the players responded to that. They got fitter and they got better. And behind the scenes, Kulusevski came in from Juventus. Bentancur came in from Juventus. These are players that Conte wanted, that he knew from Italy, and that improved the team. So you look at that first partial season and you say that was a really good start from Conte. Now, this season started all right. Ivan Perisic came into the club on very big wages. We know that he's a world-class player, although it's not really worked in practice. Richarlison came in for 50 million quid. The fans were very happy with that. And also you had Yves.
Who remembers the interview when Richarlison was saying that he's been shit this season and Conte's like, yeah, you are, mate.
Suma come in. Having said that, Conte
He says,
didn't
it's been shit this season. It's like people are trying to make it out like he's talking to Conte. Conte just goes around, well, he didn't say me specifically. And I agree, he has had his shit.
Everything he wanted. He wanted a world-class right back. He wanted a world-class centre-back. And what he got was not up to his standards. Jed Spence, he's publicly criticised Jed Spence as a club signing and not his signing. As of today, Tottenham Hotspur are 4th in the league. But let's be honest, it hasn't been a great season. They've lost 9 out of 28 games. And just think about that. 1 in 3 games in the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur have lost. And they were dumped out of the FA Cup by Sheffield United. And they were dumped out of the Champions League by AC Milan, by a very average AC Milan team. Now, Tottenham Hotspur fans really want a trophy. You've got 91 other clubs and their fans bantering Tottenham because they don't have any silverware. And maybe Antonio Conte didn't quite realise the importance of winning a trophy. But overall, a number of...
That's an awful statement. That's an awful statement. Antonio Conte doesn't understand the importance of winning the trophy. Come on, man. Get off it.
But overall, a number of key players have the importance of silverware. And maybe Antonio Conte didn't quite realise the importance of winning a trophy.
If there's one man in football that knows about winning trophies, it's Jose Mourinho, who was there and failed, and Antonio Conte. Don't talk about them not knowing like the importance of winning trophies. Come on now.
But overall, a number of key players have underperformed. Now, Heung-min Son, the drop-off in form there is quite astonishing. Last season, he won the Golden Boot. This season, he has been mostly pretty terrible. Kulusevski, a real impact player last season. This season, admittedly, he's had some injuries. He's just not been the player he was. Hugo Lloris, I'm a massive fan of him over the years, but he's made some really bad mistakes this year. A good manager has to motivate players. All players have a bad run, and it's about coming out of that bad run. And Conte is not the man to put his arm around the shoulders and improve those players and motivate them and cheer them up. And the atmosphere at White Hart Lane has apparently this season been toxic. It has been awful. Players have stopped enjoying the training.
Guys, imagine if we went from Ralph Rangnick to Conte. Oh my God, it would have been even worse. Our players wouldn't have even bothered. Luke Shaw would have been sold. Martial Rashford probably sold. Oh my God. We dodged a bullet with that one.
Apparently, they've all been looking forward to the international breaks when they can go off to their countries and enjoy a different type of football, a more enjoyable type of football. Now, Conte this season has been critical of the club on many occasions. Now, in fairness to him, he says from the start that he's going to be brutally honest. That this is part of the way he works. Conte is brutally honest. He creates tension. He wants to drive the change. He wants to make things better, and he thinks this is the way to do it.
If you want to be
but
an
it
elite
seems
manager,
like
you
he's
have to
gone
be like
too
that.
far. He's criticised the
Potter.
players, the chairman, the club, the medical staff, and it seems like people have just had enough. They're maybe not playing for...
Truth hurts. When you haven't won a trophy at your club in God knows, ever since I've been alive, they've never won a trophy. There's something wrong with the owner. There's something wrong with the management. Like the higher above the coach. This is a deeper problem, and Conte has been speaking about this. You are delusional if you think things will get better under another manager.
the gaffer
come on now.
at the moment.
They need
and also Conte's
structural
tactics
changes.
have been criticised at times, in particular in that 3-3 draw with Southampton. You're 3-1 up against a team that almost certainly will be relegated, and you sit
It's
back
poor.
and you try
No,
to
it's poor
hold
for the
on to
players.
a
I
win
agree with
against
Conte, man.
Southampton. Really, keep pushing forward. Try and score 4.
This was an interesting thing as well that Ben Foster said. They said the players, what's the word? Like throwing in the towel, or what's it called again? When they like kind of give up. I forgot the word, but it's like it could just be like 2% difference where they're not giving it their all. They're not really running through brick walls for you. It just in the back of your head, like mentally, something's just slightly holding you back, and that is the difference at elite level. That's what's happening with these Spurs players. They let like, a win like that escape them. They're not even trying. They're not even trying. It's poor.
Try and score 5. The fans have given up on Conte. So
players
how do you
have
summarise
downed
Antonio
tools.
Conte's time at Spurs? Well, I'll tell you what you've got to point out. He was earning 15 million quid per year to do that job, and he didn't see out a single season. Now think about that. Tottenham is a poor part of London, and 60,000 people are in that stadium. They've scrimped and saved to buy those season tickets. They are nurses, doctors, teachers, engineers, whatever. I tell you what, they're not earning 15 million quid a year. That manager is, and he leaves that club, he leaves that stadium without any love from the players, without any love from the fans. He didn't win a single trophy. You got dumped out of the FA Cup, you got dumped out of the Champions League, 4th place in the league. That ain't bad, but like I said, you didn't even finish a single year, a single season.
Is he playing devil's advocate here, or is he being serious? Bro, he has to be playing devil's advocate or troll it, or like what's going on? Like is he like just talking as if like he's a hater, or is he actually a hater?
At the club, and that is an absolute disgrace. So Christian Stellini and Ryan Mason will be taking temporary charge. An absolute finish. Win without any.
Now, what is this whole
teachers, engineers?
What is this whole set?
London?
What's he chatting about? Guys, this is Antonio Conte. Spurs. Nothing's new here. Nothing is new. Spurs have hired, fired, bought countless amount of players for ridiculous fees. They spent money, new stadium, but you want to blame? Like I don't get it. You're guilt tripping, saying these nurses are watching Tottenham play football, but it's Antonio's Conte fault because they gave him a lot of money for a short-term contract. He hasn't even won a trophy with a team that's never won a trophy. What are you saying?
And 60,000 people are in that stadium. They've scrimped and saved to buy those season tickets. They are
I understand
nurses,
that. That's
doctors,
poor, but
teachers.
They've been having to put up for this a lot longer than Antonio Conte being at the club. This has been going on since Daniel Levy's been at the club. Don't blame Conte, blame Levy.
Players without any love from the fans. He didn't win a single...
I think the fans understand this is deeper than Conte.
Trophy. You got dumped out of the FA Cup.
Conte.
You got dumped out of the Champions League.
You got to respect
4th
Conte.
place in the league. That ain't bad. But like I said, you didn't even finish a single year, a single season at the club, and that is an absolute disgrace. So Christian Stellini and Ryan.
Is that bad on the manager, or is that bad on the board for not actually coming up with a plan before they hired him and backing him with what he wanted?
And Mason will be taking temporary charge for the next 10 games. And in the next few months, Daniel Levy and the board will look for a full-time manager. And it's ironic that
I do know.
Stellini and Ryan Mason, they came in February when Antonio Conte had his gallbladder surgery, when he was recovering. And that period when Conte was away was actually when the best results came. So I actually feel that Tottenham Hotspur will get into the Champions League. I think they will hold off Newcastle and Liverpool
Maybe,
and take
I
that
mean,
fourth
they were my
spot. And then
favourites
it's a
all
question
along.
of maybe Pochettino is the next manager.
This is the thing, though, with Spurs, and this is what Conte's saying. They probably will get a new manager boost now. Do you know why they'll get a new manager boost? Because the players downed tools when they were with Conte. They weren't trying. They lack professionalism. They lack a winning mentality. Conte is 100% right. If they go on and get top four now, the Spurs fans would be like, yeah, everything's good. Oh, we're on the way. No. You still got a bunch of bottlers at your club. You still got an awful board who aren't going to support your manager, have no planning, have no sporting direction. You are destined to fail. You've hired Jose, Conte, Poch. You've already tried and tested it with Poch. What's going to change?
I think that would be a retrograde
People are really
step.
disrespecting
I think when
Conte
you've tried
here.
something once and it doesn't work, do not do it again.
True.
Julian Nagelsmann. Now, this is a guy who is a great young manager. He's
He needs to
just
stay
been
clear of
fired
Spurs.
from Bayern Munich after less than 2
He
years.
needs
He's
to stay clear.
35 years old. He's got a pretty good resume.
Nagelsmann, man, you already got sacked by your dream club, Bayern Munich. Do not go to the nightmare that is Tottenham Hotspur, please. Don't do it to yourself, bro. Do not do it. I think your wife just left you as well, bro.
He wasn't bad at Bayern Munich. He won the Bundesliga. He won 60 out of 84 games. And maybe this is the sort of guy who will commit to 5 to 10 years. There's no reason why they can't start winning trophies to put into that empty cabinet. There's no reason why they can't push Arsenal and Man City and Liverpool to even win the Premier League in the next 5 to 10 years. So
there is a big reason, and the big reason is Daniel Levy. I'm going to do a whole video on Fez Football about it, so that'll be out tomorrow. But listen,
Tottenham
guys,
Hotspur have got to be ambitious
on this.
with their next managerial appointment. They've got to think to the long term. They've got to give the right man 5 years for the job, and it's got to be a man that fits in with Daniel Levy and the ethos of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
But what I'll tell you guys, just to end it, is that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result.